Everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take on Biden supporters and Biden regret. Thought it would be a fun video to dunk on some Biden supporters who now regret their vote. Surprise, surprise. Every day since Election Day, I regret voting for Biden more and more. Like I genuinely feel sick to my stomach about it. The more and more I learn about politics and the way this country works, the more I wish I hadn't voted at all. Yeah, I wish you hadn't voted for Biden either. But if you learn more, you'd understand who Trump was. Trump was not the establishment. Whatever you think of him, he wasn't the establishment. And the establishment told you to hate him. And you did, which is probably why you voted for Biden. I'm not going to say the names of these guys. I don't want to, pick on a rando person. If it's a blue check mark, I'll read the name. I'd like to see the progressive reasoning behind raising the price of insulin. Biden regret is going to be a thing, and it's not far off. Yes, you're correct. I regret voting for Biden. Just random person. Good for you. Good for you confessing. Let's see. I knew I was going to regret voting for Biden, but I didn't think it would take less than a week. Yeah, no kidding. I have this unpleasant feeling about Joe Biden. I just don't know why. Like Americans will regret voting for him. Let's see. Orange Man Bad is trending on Twitter, and it appears that half of these people already regret voting for Biden, especially after he canceled Keystone and revoked the insulin EO. Like Mama would always say, I told you so. Wah, wah. I know many of you already regret voting for Biden. I'm not going to say I told you so, but just know I told you so. Let's see. Oh, here's one that's hanging on. Thinking I'm never gonna regret not voting for Biden. Oh, not voting. Oh, well, that good for you. Voting for Biden was a mistake. I regret it already. What? I'm trying to do a thing, Joan. Be nice. It's Fauci's government now. Biden, or at least Biden's people, are going to regret giving him this much power. Politically and economically disastrous. Well, I don't know about that. I think it's a bit of an overstatement. It's stuff like this that make me regret voting for Biden. Joan, I'm doing a thing. All right, that's it. You're being bad. Good night. Like a bird. She goes right to sleep. Oh, what else? What? There. You want to come over here? Now you won't be nice and warm. Now you can sit here. Okay? You happy? You happy? Do you regret voting for Biden? You didn't vote for Biden, did you? You're a dog. You dogs don't vote. USA will regret electing Biden. I like how people on my Facebook say I'm going to regret voting for Biden. How many days old is this? A lot of people saying they'll regret. Let's turn to the latest. Maybe that's more. This will be the latest people who say something about regretting. I put in Biden regret. Unions regret endorsing Biden after Keystone Pipeline. Well, of course. Another person talking about the unions. Talking about the election. Can't read that one. Guys keep talking about the election. I can't read this stuff. I knew I was going to regret. Oh, the same one, less than a week. Guess that one's going around. Oh, here we go. Breaking report, Biden voters flood Twitter to express deep regret. Well, I'm not saying quite a flood, but definitely a few. Oh, this guy doesn't regret it. I tell you what I regret, voting for Trump 4 years ago. Been waiting 4 years to correct my mistake. Voted for Biden. No, you got that one backwards. This guy does not regret it. Well, so there's a few people who don't regret it. I don't really think they follow the news. They tend to be low information voters, but hella people already saying they regret voting for Biden. Yeah, it's getting flooded by other things. Let me check my second search here. Here is some screen captures. Talking about not sending the relief payments out. This guy we already saw. Stuff like this that make me regret voting for Biden. I have an unpleasant feeling about Biden. Biden's beer virus plan so far seems pretty solid, but mentions no plan to reopen soup plantation, so I'm afraid I regret voting for him. I don't know what soup plantation is. What the actual F is this S? Thought you were helping people? Don't be an a-hole. Fix this now. People choose between food and housing and insulin. Don't make me regret voting for you. He's not going to change it, lady. Jeez. Here we go. I regret voting for Biden. Okay, Biden is evil. Hashtag, damn. This guy does not regret voting for Biden. This woman does not regret voting, will never regret her vote. She has many tags in her name. There's a few Biden voters who have said they regret voting for him because of what he's doing now. A lot of suckers believed that simply voting for Biden because you did not like Trump and not on policy. I see a lot of regret coming. Anyone regret Biden after voting for him? Let's see. I think she got one response. You should regret voting for that un-American POS, senile, dumb. A lot of angry people on Twitter. So, yeah, I mean, there are a few people. You know what I think? I think most people who regret voting for Biden won't tell anybody. It's a secret vote. Why would you tell anybody? Just, if anybody asks, say, oh, yeah, I voted. Or avoid the conversation altogether. I think that's what most people will do. I think the people who brag about voting for Biden, they'll probably defend him because they're defending themselves in the process. There's very few people who are going to cave and say, oh, I regret voting for Biden. What the hell? Most of them will be the hard left. Those guys didn't want to vote for Biden. They didn't see any other choice, even though there are usually plenty of other choices. Certainly, you could have voted for the Libertarian candidate. She was practically an SJW, hard lefties. Pretty much anybody else would have been a better choice than Joe Biden. Literally anybody else running would have been better. I'm sure there was a communist running somewhere. That guy probably would have been a better choice for your vote than Biden. Because at least that guy's not a senile old mummy who, will undo Trump's stuff. I mean, look, if you're going to have a guy like Trump or a guy like Biden, personally, I prefer Trump because he's not establishment. But even if the choice is an establishment Republican versus an establishment Democrat, it's usually better to have the establishment incumbent back in anyway. Because now you have the establishment Democrat who's not the incumbent. He's had to do all this stuff right in the beginning. You see the stupidity of his entire team. I mean, he fired the butler and then wondered why he got locked out of the residence or wherever he was trying to get into. I mean, how stupid do you have to be to fire a guy in charge of opening the door and then go, oh my God, I can't get into the house during the inauguration? I mean, that's how stupid the Bidens are. They are that dumb and that uncaring that they went to the Lincoln Memorial without their mask literally hours after Joe decreed that everybody should wear a mask on federal property. You know, Trump got blasted for not wearing a mask, like constantly blasted. But this was a new thing. This was something that wasn't all that necessary for a president to do, who was constantly getting tested, who was constantly around the same people all day. Like, you know, and there's some mitigation there because it was a new thing. There's no new thing for Biden. He ran on wearing a mask, and he didn't wear it right after he passed the EO. So, you know, I think the people who voted for Biden are mostly low information voters who just hated Trump. They skim the news, and they think they're smart, but they're not. Most of them are really dumb people, really tedious sufferers who only know so much. And then a handful of ideologues who are kind of smart in their own way, I guess. Right, Joe? You're smarter than him. You wouldn't have voted for Biden. No way. So, anyhow, I can tell you this. Most of the smart people, not on Twitter.